There's something I'm beginning to understand more and more clearly about photography. At the center of everything, there is one very simple, very human thing: curiosity. Hi everyone, I'm Mary, and welcome back to the channel. And yeah, as you can hear, today I want to share a few thoughts about curiosity. Before we jump into this topic, please don't forget to subscribe and use the comment section to share your thoughts, your ideas, because I'm genuinely curious to read them. I believe that without curiosity I couldn't photograph the way I do, or maybe I wouldn't photograph at all. I might be uncertain about many things in my life and searching for many answers, but this one has always been constant for me. Curiosity, the desire to understand. Especially in documentary photography, this trait becomes even stronger, because the image is not just a moment, not just an illustration or a high-resolution memory. It's a beginning of a journey. A journey we start because something takes our mind. Something starts moving inside us, and personally I can't rest until I dig deeper in a topic that's really interesting to me. A documentary photograph isn't a snapshot. For me, documentary photography is a story born from curiosity. If there's no question, there's nothing to show. At this moment, I am working on the early stage of two projects, and the common thread between them is that curiosity pushed me to begin to explore and to find out more about these topics. But there is something important I want to make clear from the start if you are in the same stage as me. Curiosity gets you moving, but humility is what keeps you going. You have to put the work, the time and the energy if you want success. I think this is true for any part of the life, not just photography. But we are in this channel, so let's stay in photography for now. So when I'm shooting a project or a topic that matters to me, I always feel like I'm stepping through a door. Of course, sometimes that door is hard to find or hard to open, but once you are over the threshold, you already won half of the battle. Curiosity opens that door, but whatever behind it, it only reveals itself once you step through. I never have just one thought in my mind at this moment when I step through the threshold. I have 100. It's kind of an internal dialogue with myself, so many things come together. I don't think I'm alone in this, of course. Many of photographers work this way. Curiosity doesn't fade in me. It may sound strange, but to say it like it sounds strange to say like it, but yeah, that's the truth. Because when I step through one door, I immediately see 10 more. And one thought becomes 2, then 20. So it isn't always easy. It's sometimes overwhelming. And in this noisy place, I feel home, because this keeps me alive. And this is why photography still matters to me. The reason I'm still searching for stories. I remember there was a photo shoot about around 2 years ago, where I photographed people who had served in the mandatory military service in Hungary. And that topic was already interesting to me. But one conversation opened a completely new path. I found out that one of them was a graphic artist. And that realization suddenly reworked the entire story. My curiosity took me from a simple portrait into a life and the mind of an artist. A world that I never seen before. And after sometimes I just sitting in the kitchen and talk with him for hours. I'm very grateful that experience, because I left with a lot of memories, some good advices, and even today when we meet and say hi, it brings a smile to my face. This is one of the most beautiful parts of photography. You never know where you will end up. At least in my case, it happens quite often. So yeah, curiosity toward people is incredibly important to me. Not only when I'm photographing someone, but in general. If someone knows me, he or she knows it. I'm really interested in who are they really. Not who they were, not who they wanted to be, not what role they play, but who are they right now, here at this moment. And this is what I try to understand. Because behind every face there is something that isn't visible at first. There is no universal answer, because every person is different, every story is different. But the question is always kind of the same. And if I'm already asking who they are really, then maybe it makes sense to ask another question. Who am I really? I think a lot about where is my place in this world, where is my place in photography, and where is my place is within myself. And photography helps me with this. Not always, because sometimes it brings me closer to myself, but sometimes it pulls me further away. But somehow there is always a piece of me in every image. At least I would like to believe that. Many people search for one big question. They want to know the answer in the life. That's kind of curiosity too. But I think in my life it's different. I search for stories. Curiosity keeps opening new doors, and my task is to step to them and work with whatever I find them inside. That's why I do photography. That's why I search for stories, and that's why I can't let go of curiosity. Because without it, there would be no image, no story. And perhaps I wouldn't be who am I today. So yeah, that's my story about curiosity. And thanks to being here, and yeah, see you soon. All my best until next time. Bye bye.